This book is dedicated to anybody who has ever been told that writing fan fiction is a waste of time. I'm in love. Greetings, people of the internet. My name is Matt, and this is Doctor Who Online. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about something very special. We're talking about this, Doctor Who, The Wintertime Paradox, by Dave Rudden and illustrated by Alexis Snell. I love this. Okay, so first things first, a big thank you to Puffin Books for sending me a copy of this that I can actually read and enjoy and tell people how wonderful it is. And so far, it is. I got this book on Tuesday. I haven't finished reading it yet, but I've made a solid start. But I had to tell someone about it because I'm genuinely excited about this. I genuinely am. So let's just have a chat about the aesthetic of it all. These books, this is the next in the series of the short story collections that Puffin's been releasing subsequently over the years, and I love them. I love this old school feel of a storybook, which they actually mastered pretty early on. I remember getting the Doctor Who Fairy Tales book, and I just absolutely adored that. This will sit in that collection very, very nicely, and it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful thing to behold. Look at that! Look at that! I'm not editing that. There's this blue foil relief on the front, and I love the illustrations that Alexis has done. Alexis, if you are actually watching this, you have done an absolutely superb job. Absolutely superb. So these books are meant to be collected, and if you do, you are not going to be disappointed, because when this comes out on general release, 440 pages, so it is an absolute beast of a book, $12.99. I thought it was going to be something like 20 odd quid or something, but $12.99, and you get 12 Doctor Who stories, and you get beautiful illustrations, and you get on the front, you get a collector's item as well. I mean, let's face it, this was meant to be part of a loved collection, and it's going to sit on my shelf proudly. It really is, and I'm not just saying that. So what's it actually about? Well, the blurb on the back reads thus. Christmas can mean anything. For Missy, it's solving murders in 1909. For a little girl in Dublin, it's plasmavores knocking at the door. For Davros, it's a summons from the Doctor who needs the mad inventor's help. The perfect collection for the bleakest and sometimes brightest time of the year. These are the tales for when you are halfway out of the dark. Oh! So when I heard about this book, I was actually really, really excited, because this was on my radar at any rate. But I just actually physically see it before my very eyes. I had to, as you do, you always flick through. I'm such a child. I like having a good old flick through and having a look at the illustrations. My favourite one. It's actually going to be story 8, A Girl Called Doubt. I don't know what it's about, but look! I don't know what that is, but that's a freaking Cyberman. So we've got a Cyberman story in here. We've got a Dalek story in here. Varying Doctors. This is a dream book, and it's all set at Christmas as well. Now, I am quite partial to Christmas stories, especially if they're spooky Christmas stories, especially if they're quite odd. Dave Rudden seems to get Doctor Who, but also he's writing something that's quite fresh. It's because you read certain Doctor Who stories and you just think it's the same old tired old pap, time and time again. Whereas this, you get the feeling that this is going to be something new. This is going to be something quite interesting, and that's what I love about these stories. There's always a different angle on the writing. So I was really, really happy about that. So, like I say, I've read 2 stories, and the story out of the 2 that I really do like at the precise second, I mean, I really like this one, is story 2, and that is Father of the Daleks. A title with Of the Daleks. Naturally, I'm going to love it. So, not to give too much away, but it's an 11th Doctor story, and Davros and the Daleks are attacking the world of Gryphon, and they're actually going up against the Krillitane. I know, right? And the Krillitane have somehow worked out almost complete phase invisibility, and Davros and the Daleks want this. So that's a bit of a nod back to Planet of the Daleks. But abracadabra, the Doctor turns up! And what we have is this really, really strange Christmas Carol-esque story where the Doctor meets Davros 3 times in varying parts of space and time, basically to try and show Davros the value in keeping some of these old and these beautiful civilizations around, rather than just conquering them and making them all Dalek. There's a lot of questions of morality. I'm not going to give too much away. You've just got to go. You've just got to go and you've got to read the book. You've got to read it yourself. I'm not going to spoil the story. I'm not about that. I don't even have to put spoiler alert on. All I'm going to tell you is that it's Davros and the Doctor having these very intellectual one-to-ones, which is a beautiful, beautiful nod to one of my favourite comic strips, which was Up Above the Gods, whereby the Sixth Doctor and Davros they have this exchange about where Davros came from, why he does what he does, where's all the hate coming from, and trying to offer him another choice, another chance. And so this is that same idea, but it's expanded and it's done in a completely new way. Plus the fact it's awesome because the Krillitanes have got invisibility technology and the Daleks want it. I just love that. I do actually genuinely love the idea that the Daleks are scanning all these races, and all of a sudden it says, well, they have something that we want. We must have it. Then we shall exterminate, etc., etc. And I do my Dalek voice. I should have done it with the figures as well, but that's another time. And so I was left really, really satisfied that that Dave Rudden had gone through this entire story, not necessarily trying to make Davros go, oh, all of a sudden I should be this force for good in the universe, but the Doctor is desperately trying to get Davros to again alter the approach to the Daleks, which we all know is not going to happen, but it's the 11th Doctor. He's the ultimate optimist. Dave really gets the 11th Doctor. I like the way that when the 11th Doctor talks, you can hear Matt Smith. Now, that's writing 11th Doctor dialogue is not quite as easy as people make out, because I've tried it in terms of fan fiction, and that's what I loved about this, is that opening line of anybody who's written fan fiction. This is the ultimate example of keep going, you'll get somewhere. Trust me, you'll get somewhere. And to write the 11th Doctor dialogue, you've kind of got to write sort of several thoughts all in one go, and one leads to another, and bang, 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 bang. And, it sounds very incoherent, but to write the 11th Doctor without making him sound silly, when he's been dark and he's been a bit more serious, but he's still having those quick fire thoughts. Dave Rudden gets that down absolutely splendidly. So there's a moment at the end of the story where things are coming to a head, and you can just imagine Murray Gold's sort of darker themes in the background, building and building and building, and Matt Smith's Doctor is going, and he's just firing off these little thoughts, and it all forms these coherent thoughts, and it's I can go on for hours about how wonderful this is. Dave Rudden has done such a wonderful, wonderful job, and I genuinely cannot wait to actually go and finish the book. Like I say, I've had this book 2 days, but I have got to talk to someone about this, and that person is you. Lucky you. So yeah, this is going to be out on October 15th. It's going to be $12.99, and you can pick it up Amazon, Waterstones, wherever you get your Doctor Who books. You can go and get this. I heartily recommend it. It's going to be if you like just reading Doctor Who stories in general, but if you like a book whereby you can pick it up and read it over the Christmas holidays, get this. It's going to be absolutely superb. Again, Puffin Books, thank you so much for sending me this copy. I adore it. I'm going to treasure it. And I'm now going to go and get myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to go finish reading this book. It is genuinely so worth it, and I'm just so glad I get to be able to share this with you. I love books. So guys, that was me reviewing Doctor Who, The Wintertime Paradox by Dave Rudden. absolutely superb, and I will see everybody in the next video. This has been me, Matt, and this has been Doctor Who Online.